The thing is, whatever story you have now or have had in the past does not have to be your story moving forward. It is totally fine and sometimes completely necessary to Control Alt Delete and start rewriting. Welcome back, my friends, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Christy, and I make content centered around realizing no matter where we are in life, no matter our age, we are just on time to live the life of our dreams. I love a good story. Whether I'm reading it or watching it or listening to it, I love a great podcast, a movie, a book, all of it. And I've noticed that no matter what the genre, all good stories have three things in common. First, they all have characters that you're immediately invested in. Second, they have a really tight storyline where everything is connected. And third, they take you on a journey towards some end result. This is true for every single story. And the thing is, if any of those parts are missing, then we become completely disinterested in that story. If there are characters that you aren't interested in, you immediately become bored. If the storyline isn't tight and things are kind of all over the place, you're confused and also bored. And then if the journey isn't clear, then you're kind of like,
what is happening? Why is this so disconnected?
Like, remember the first Twilight? I hate to say it because I loved the series, but had I not read the books and knew what was coming, I'd have been like, I can't follow this. Because the actual plot of the first movie was moving too fast. Bella and Edward were like, y'all weren't even talking. Now we have to stay away from each other. Completely don't get it. So yeah, so often in our own lives, we're missing some, if not all, of the pieces of our story. We're not invested in the character that gets us excited about our lives. And hint, you're the character. Our storyline isn't tight, and so we are just coasting through life without any real plan or direction. And then we end up placing too much priority on the end result and not enough on the journey to be able to get there. And so we find ourselves in a place where our lives are not fulfilled and we're just kind of stuck, and we're in this cycle that we don't quite know how to get out of. We don't quite know where to go. And whether that means that we're stuck in a relationship or a career path that we don't like, any number of things or areas where we realize that our life has completely gotten off track and we don't have any clue what the script is of our stories. So how do we start rewriting the story? Oh my goodness, there is somebody upstairs. There's never anybody upstairs. I never hear anybody, but today I hear somebody and there's just like this thud that I keep hearing. So how do we start rewriting our stories? Well, we have to address each of these three components of a good story. You are a main character in your story. I talked about this main character mindset in a previous video, which I will link here, but basically just saying that we are a main character in our stories and we have to start acting like that by investing into ourselves. When we always put ourselves lowest on the totem pole and lowest in priority, then we never get to the place that we are trying to go because we're so focused on giving our energy to other people and seeing what it is that other people are doing and aspiring to being on their level or doing things that other people are doing, but we don't actually pour into ourselves. We give to other people at our jobs, we give to our families, we give to our friends, but when we never pour that energy into ourselves, then our needs, our wants, our goals, the things that we're trying to get to never end up taking priority, and we sit in this supporting character role of our lives. So we have to work on ourselves. We have to pour into ourselves. We have to figure out ways to be able to refill our cups and make sure that we have what we need so that we can be the best for our own lives, but then also for the lives of the people around us. Now, this would not be a Christy video if I did not talk about that other main character in your life being God and your relationship with Him. You really do need to develop that and you need to prioritize that. Seeking within ourselves is limited. We have to seek direction from God, from our Creator, about what is the thing that He wants us to be doing and going in the direction that He wants us to go. We have to spend time with Him so that we can know His character and we can know what His thoughts are about us. As we are just constantly thinking about ourselves, we can become so very self-focused. But when we place that focus or transfer that focus onto God, then He puts everything in perspective and shows us, here are the things that we need to be doing. Here are the directions that we need to be going. Here are the ways that we can take care of ourselves. Here are the ways that we can actually prioritize the rest that we need and resting in Him so that He can guide our paths, so He can guide our steps, and so that we're not just aimlessly doing things on our own and living a life that is just for ourselves. If our lives are completely about ourselves, then we are completely just missing the purpose. We have to redirect and focus our our energy on God and building that relationship with Him. The next piece is to tighten the storyline. And so that is through getting rid of things that you don't need, that don't matter anymore, but then also being laser focused on your goals. First, we'll talk about the getting rid of things. So I have been deep into this decluttering series and decluttering kind of mindset where over the past couple of months, I have been so focused on getting rid of all of the things that have been cluttering up my home where it looks clean, but behind all of the bins and behind all of these dressers and in the closets, there's just all of this stuff that I've kept onto that I don't need, that I need to get rid of, and that I have so committed to myself that it's not coming with me into 2024 because I'm just in a space where I'm so over the clutter. But we have to do that with our lives as well. So we have to declutter the people in our lives who are dragging us down. We have to declutter the mindsets that are causing us to not fulfill the purpose and the goals and the plans that God has for our lives. We have to get rid of all of the things that that our lives actually really don't have any room for and that are dragging us down instead of lifting us up. In these past several weeks, I have resources that really focus on ways to be able to declutter and to reduce and let go of all of this stuff. And so I would say look at those resources, make sure that you check out those videos about things that we are letting go of. The other side of that is to be laser focused on a few goals. We can't focus on everything. If we're trying to focus on every single thing, then we become overwhelmed. So in any type of goal setting book that you would read, the advice is going to be focus on just a narrow amount of goals at one time and then be really laser focused on those goals. But it can't just stop at goals. Goals are the big thing. They are the thing that we want to have happen. They are the dream result. They're the dream outcome. But goals without systems or routines in place that help us to meet those goals are really just fantasies. And fantasies are great. Fantasies are awesome, but they aren't real. And so in order to make them real, then we have to put things in place that allow us to be able to achieve that. So for example, if I want to go on a trip, say I want to go to California, I can't just sit on my couch and be like, okay, it's my goal to go to California, and then I don't do anything. No, I have to make a plan of, am I going to drive or I'm going to fly? I'm going to drive. So I'm going to drive to California. What roads am I going to take? I'm going to take whatever highway that it takes me to get there. Do I need to stay somewhere? Yes, I need to probably figure because it's going to take however many hours to be able to get there. I need to have money so that I can have gas and so that I can have food for my road trip. I need to have clothes. I have to plan out all of the things and all of the steps that are going to help me to get to that goal. But just saying it's what I want and thinking about it and spending all of my energy and all of my mental wheels just thinking about how I want to get there and not really doing anything and consistently doing a thing to make that happen, well, it's pointless. It's just pointless. So we have to come up with a plan. We have to come up with systems and routines that really help us to get in that place. I love the book by James Clear, Atomic Habits, because it's let us know that it is within our habits, it's within our systems that help us to be able to achieve whatever outcome, whatever result we're trying to get to. And when we don't have those tight and we don't have those in place, and when we don't hold ourselves accountable to actually following through with the systems and routines that we've set for ourselves, then that is where the breakdown is, and that's why we're not meeting the desired outcome. And then the other piece is to romanticize the journey. So the journey is the process that it takes to be able to get from point A to point Z, wherever it is that you're trying to go. The end result is not going to happen without the process. If you are diligently working towards something, you're going to get there. Like, put that out of your head. Stop worrying about, am I going to get there? Am I not going to get there? If you're actually putting in the work to make that happen, you're going to get there. But you do have to put in the work, and you do have to recognize that there's going to be a whole lot of stuff in the middle between where I'm starting and where I'm trying to go. And what's so nice is that you actually get to choose how you perceive all of those experiences. So if you want to make that be a negative experience where it is just this kind of drudgery every single day of getting up and doing whatever it is that you need to do, trying to get to this end result, that's a choice. But you can also choose to make it a fun part. Life does not have to be drudgery. It does not have to be humdrum. It does not have to be boring. It can be fun. And the things that we are doing to get to where we want to go, that journey can be enjoyable. Yeah, there are going to be some hardships on the way, but it doesn't have to be all hardship. It can also be quite enjoyable. There's so much that we learn about ourselves, about the thing that we're trying to get to as we are going on that journey that we can't learn if we just immediately get there. It develops our character, it develops our stamina, it helps us to be ready for the thing that we're trying to get to, so that when we get to it, we have built up the tools to be able to maintain it. You have heard the stories of different people who have won the lottery. They won all this money, it was just handed to them in their laps, and a year later they were broke. They went bankrupt. Why is that? It's because they did not have the tools to be able to responsibly maintain that. We are in a much better space to be able to handle the blessings and handle those big dreams and desires and outcomes that we want when we have learned along the way. But if we are just spending our time being frustrated about the process and not letting it just complete its work in us, then we won't get there. And if we do get there, we won't actually be able to appreciate it, because all we thought about was how frustrating it was to get there, and we didn't appreciate each step along the way. The success, the goal, the end result is so much sweeter when we appreciate everything that it's taken for us to be able to get there. When we learn from the failures, we learn from the mistakes, we learn from the successes, we learn from everything that has been given to us throughout the journey, and romanticizing it, changing our mindsets about it. Instead of thinking, I have to do this. If you're trying to lose weight, I have to go work out. I have to eat vegetables. I have to do whatever. Changing that into I get to move my body. I get to go work out. I am focusing on taking care of myself today. I am thinking about the future me that I want and doing the things to be that future person. I am putting those habits in place now so that I can be this person. And when you find little ways to enjoy every part of the process, it becomes who you are, and you see more ways to be able to enjoy it. You can choose to make it horrible, or you can choose to make it enjoyable. That is completely up to you. I choose to make it enjoyable. And I found for my own life that when I have the goal in the back of my mind, and that's the thing that I'm working toward, but I am becoming the person that it is that I want to be through the actions, through the things that I'm doing, through the way that I'm treating myself, through the way that I'm treating others, through the way that I am approaching life, then I am enjoying that so much more, because I'm becoming that person. I'm living in that reality right now. Even though that thing that I want, I may not have it in my possession right now, I am living like that, which means that I already see it, it's already mine. I can start living in that reality to some extent right now as I am getting there. And when I get there, I have the tools to be able to maintain it, instead of, oh, this thing just came to me, but now I don't know how to handle it. As you work on the story of your life, you will start to see the change, the progress, the movement toward the goals that you're trying to get to. But if you don't carefully consider and evaluate each of those three components of your story, then you are going to be stuck where you are. And we're not trying to do that. We're trying to move forward. Okay, so in the comments, I need you to let me know, what part of your story are you focusing on rewriting? And of course, I will let you know mine as well. Our activities this week, which are linked above, are really focused on analyzing those areas of our story and ways that we can improve each of those different areas. And over the next few weeks, we're gonna hone it down even more so that we walk into this next chapter of our lives ready, excited, approaching life just ready. Also, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? I'm gonna need you to jump on that. Okay, I love you. I'll see you in my next video. Mwah! See ya.